Welcome to the AFR Saints channel, where we provide you daily content on your favorite team, the New Orleans Saints. Do us a favor and hit that subscribe button. Be sure to leave your comments below and smash that like button. Who dat? If you were following over the weekend, this was kind of it was a scary situation. We all woke up to the news that Jimmy Graham had been arrested Saturday. He was apparently disoriented. He was thought to be under the influence. And so police arrested Jimmy Graham. The Saints then released a statement saying that Jimmy Graham had a medical episode. It was reported that he had a seizure. We're waiting on an update there, but after the game on Sunday night, Dennis Allen was asked for an update on Jimmy Graham. Here's what he said.
Jimmy's with us. He's healthy. He'll have some more testing to go on. But, look, he's a little shook up, but yet overall, he's doing okay.
So I want to be completely and totally respectful and cautious with the Jimmy Graham situation, because anybody, and many of you have, maybe it's you personally or have someone you love in your family who's dealt with seizures, as was reported that Jimmy Graham had. My son has seizures. He's on seizure medicine, and when you're on neuromeds, that's anytime you're on any type of neuromeds, it's intense. Like, anybody who's dealt with it understands what I'm saying. So I want to be very, very respectful and cautious not to overstep with regard to this conversation. The Saints released a statement saying that Jimmy Graham experienced a medical episode last evening, which resulted in him becoming disoriented. He was taken into custody by local authorities, transported to a local hospital for evaluation for what Dr. John Amos believes to be a likely seizure, and spent the night under medical supervision and testing. What caused that seizure? Has Jimmy Graham had seizures in the past? There's a lot of unknowns there that I'm not going to start to speculate on. Did he take a substance that caused the seizure? I don't know. Again, that's all questions and speculative, and we don't know the answers to. We might get an answer to. So, as I say, whenever there's stuff like this that pops up, there's always two parts of the conversation. There's the very real, very serious medical component, like real life component. You understand that, you put it in a box, you put it on the shelf, and acknowledge that exists. For the purposes of our conversation, we have to look at it through a football lens. Well, what does this mean for Jimmy Graham? Well, this might mean Jimmy Graham doesn't make the Saints. I don't know. I don't believe Jimmy Graham was a lock to make this team anyway. But now you throw on top of it seizure, arrest, all that sort of stuff. Is there a spot for Jimmy Graham on the 53-man roster? I think as much as that was already in question, I think it's further in question now as a result of all of that. So, and for me, listen, when Jimmy Graham was here the first time, I loved Jimmy Graham. I was the most giant Jimmy Graham fan, because what he did for this offense under Sean Payton was such a valuable skill set. And it's something they tried to replicate with Kobe Fleener, with Ben Watson again, with Jared Cook, with Adam Troutman. Like, they finally seem to have found it now with Juwan Johnson. But they have been searching for 8 years for what he did in this offense before they traded him. So this isn't an anti-Jimmy Graham take. It's just he's 36. You have an abundance of talent at that position. One of your free agent acquisitions was Foster Moreau at that position. Juwan Johnson is a total stud at that position. Taysom Hill also plays that position. So do you really have room on this roster? Well, this episode further calls into question whether or not that's realistic. So as the Saints go to their final week of the preseason and get closer to 53-man roster cutdowns, clearly most important is that Jimmy Graham's healthy. But from a make this team conversation, this very much calls into question further his ability to do that. Massive week for Jimmy Graham if he's going to make this team, clearly. Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please leave your comments. I love to interact. And be sure to hit the red subscribe button below.